Hey, good morning, Ape Nation. This is at Real Ape Nation, otherwise at Onyx Analytics. I'm just going to do a quick video for you guys to go over today's AMC call data. For some reason, I can't figure out how to get the stuff up on my screen right now with my streaming software, so I'm just doing this basically through webcam. So please bear with me. This is all a giant learning curve for me. I am trying my very best, and I'm stepping way outside of my comfort zone with these. So let's get straight into the data for the day. AMC is going to be the main topic, and then we're going to cover GME as well. All data is pulled from NASDAQ, and then it is not pre or post market. It is all just regular market hours data. The reason for that is that's when a majority of trading takes place, and that's when the institutional trading really does its work. And that's really ultimately what we're fighting here, guys, is the institutions. So Onyx did drop a bomb yesterday. There was 1 million plus naked shorts injected. How do I know that? How did Onyx know that? Simple. You go to NASDAQ, you go you find AMC's ticker, you go into the real time section, and then you scroll down and you'll be able to find where it has the tick by tick. Simply take that tick by tick volume, copy and paste it, or write it all down, add it all up for a specific time frame, time interval, and then you will get a number. You'll get the volume for that time interval. You go to the chart, you compare it against the chart, and I promise you they won't match. Now, I'm not saying that about every single time interval, just certain time intervals itself. So it's really important. Onyx extracts all that data on its own. So Onyx is doing all of this in instances where if you had to do this manually, like I used to do it, you would have to go through all 1,500 pages of tick by tick data and do it all. And yes, I used to do that. So, but taking this data and if you can all validate your own data. You guys can do this all. To be completely honest, we don't need Onyx. If everybody was just able to do their own DD, unfortunately, the amount of time that I have put into this and into Onyx compared to doing other things like trading or, working or, being a parent, I do all of this in between. I'm being in the Navy is my full-time job. And for those that have been in the service, they know how demanding being in the military can be and how many hours that takes. So I wear that hat. I wear the hat of a parent when I get home and a husband. And then in between, when my family's sleeping and my family wakes up or I have to go to work, I do this. So it's really important that you guys give me accurate feedback and good feedback, whether it be bad, good, or indifferent feedback. Just give me feedback so that I know how to improve these videos, the podcasts, Onyx's data in itself. What do you guys want to see? What do you not want to see? That way I can kind of tailor this to make it user friendly for all of you. So enough about Onyx and everything like that. Let's just get into the data. So through the call option software, the volume software that I use on call options, we had a really big transaction take place today. I'm going to take and actually post a screenshot of it on Twitter. Just give me 1 second and I will pop that up on Twitter so that everybody can see it. And then, so this was a huge call trade. Like this was huge, especially for first thing in the morning. Whoever this whale was, thank you, whale or whalette, thank you for believing in us. Just let me pop that out on Twitter real fast. And then I have some interesting numbers that I did not go over on the podcast itself. So I'm just tweeting this at Onyx Stream. Those interesting numbers I want to go over with you guys are the actual volumes for everything. And I'm going to hit on a couple of things. So this is pulled from a third-party source. This is not straight from the market, but it does include that dark pool data. So true AMC volume on the day for the 6th of July, 2021, our true volume was 777.24 million in volume. So compare that to what Webull has up for the day. Let's just take a look real quick. Let's just verify that with you guys on here, and we can see how accurate we are. So volume was 62 million. So once again, there's shares that were traded on the dark pool, obviously, but I'm willing to bet when Average comes out with his YouTube video today, there is some volume missing, magically just appears out of nowhere. And no, it's not carryover. It's not delayed data, none of that stuff. We're talking about NASDAQ. We're talking about the exchange itself. Now, this data did not come from NASDAQ. This is a third party, but even when I utilize NASDAQ, I get super inconsistencies as well. Please just give me a second here to let my dog out. I'm sorry if I didn't let them out. They would sit and bark all morning. So the inconsistencies, they tell us a story. So if a volume is reported, it's obviously being recorded somewhere, somehow by somebody. And chasing that number down of who is reporting it and how they report it is where we find these naked shorts being injected. So it's important that we continue to follow these up, and it's important that we continue to analyze this stuff, because ultimately the SEC is not doing their job, and clearly everybody knows that. Gary Gensler, I'm sorry, man, but you're blind. I don't know how you're not seeing this. If a smooth-brained ape like myself, we're dumb money. If I found this and I found all this data and it's been verified by other people, how come you haven't found it? What that tells me is you don't care. You're not willing to take care of the issues that are happening. So then we move over to the actual call data for the day. I will post a screenshot of this. And also, for those that were questioning, is there a way to find proof? I'm going to post all the screenshot of my tick by tick. Now, just so you guys know, there's over 40,000 data pieces in a 30-minute interval. So I'm just going to take a picture of the, 1 through 39, and then I'll scroll down and take another random picture. That way you guys can just see how much data Onyx actually processes on a day. It's insane. But as far as AMC itself, so let's get to the whole point. AMC, Onyx Analytics, what's going to happen today? This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Do your own DD, take your own risks. Onyx is human, just like the rest of us. It is a computer algorithm that was developed by a person. So there is always that chance for error. AMC looking today, we have a pretty even, it's obviously it's still bullish and it's in its sense, but looking across the board, we're looking at probably another week of consolidation. Now, yesterday I posted a picture of a wedge, the end of a wedge. We are on the end of a wedge right now. So we're going to be looking for that breakout Monday next week. And what gives me a good sense that there's going to be a great breakout is that Looking at the call data for next week, we have 314,907 contracts for calls, so bullish contracts. This week, we have 192,799. So it's already looking better next week, like just in the pure predictability, like what people are viewing as next week is going to be the week that we break out of that wedge. There's a lot of contracts that have fallen out of the money, but that are out of the money next week. But we can, as those start to fall in the money, we're going to get it. You're going to see a very beautiful volume spike. The average contract price next week is looking pretty sexy compared to this week. This week, obviously, it's gone down because we're closer to Friday. And as we get closer to Friday, these numbers start to look uglier because that's when options expire, which is why I'm bringing up next week as well. Important pieces for today. Look for us to cross that 54.86 mark. That is the first gamma trigger. What that means is that is where these market makers' computers have to start auto hedging for a lot of these contracts. The opposite side is a reverse gamma. That's a very bearish version of a gamma. Hopefully, we don't have to worry about that. But 43.14 is that first mark where you'll see a lot of unloading of previous hedging. 64.33 is also the next gamma trigger. So hitting 54.86, you're going to see a massive hedge in theory, as it would be traditionally. We all know AMC is not traditional. So you're going to see that 54 should carry us to 64.33, and then 64 should carry us to 77. And then we should get back into, we should hopefully be able to, if these gamma triggers are hit and they start to squeeze those auto hedgings, hopefully we can get back to living in the 60s again for the rest of the week and start next week very, very strong. On Onyx's indicators, we're looking the banana meter is sitting at a 5.64 out of possible 5. How does it get over 5? Because there is always the ape tendency. So AMC, once again, is still looking very apish. Whether it has apish movement today or not does not change the fact that overall AMC is looking apish. Next week, the banana meter is actually chilling at a 4 right now out of 5, but that's because there's a lot of the Greek, taking the Greeks into account and the decay into effect, so obviously that meter is going to continue to move the closer we get to that week. And it's going to give us, as of Monday, we should hopefully, if we can continue consolidating and maybe get a little bit of a breakout, we'll be looking at that banana meter to start going over, getting up towards 5 again, and then starting to exceed 5. Big points for AMC call data. We need to hold above 40. That's our first big giant support wall in the call world. So that's just a lot of volume being held there that if we go past, if we drop below that 40 mark, would be unloaded. That is for the 16th. For this week, 40 again, also a decent sized wall. It is not our biggest wall. We are actually going to be fighting to get into the $50 range again. There's a pretty strong wall between 50 and 55. If we can break through that wall, we're looking at 56. We're looking at really nothing until, like I said, 64 should lead us to 77. We've really lost a lot of resistance. There's like no resistance once we can push through that initial wall, as long as we can get a couple whales to step in. One final thing that I want to touch on real quick, as I did tell you guys yesterday on Twitter that I'm going to be taking a little family vacation today to the Outer Banks. But one thing I really wanted to hit on, because I view that it is important, is, give me one sec while I pull this up. GME. Let's talk about GME real quick. Also, I want you guys to know that Citadel liquidated a shit ton of GME on their physical position, like their recorded positions in GME. They liquidated 89.68% of their position in GME. Vanguard actually stepped up and bought 7%, 7.34%, and then another group called Jane Street Group stepped in and bought 145%. So and JP Morgan stepped up about 101. So between them, they not only swallowed up Citadel's bullshit but surpassed it. So bravo to Vanguard, Jane Street Group, and JP Morgan for kicking Citadel while they're down. GME's call option data. We're just going to take a quick scroll through this because, they are apes. They're part of this ape movement as well. We're looking pretty sexy. Not so much on this week's end. This week's end is not looking bad. There's a ton of calls that are out of the option. There's a ton. There's only 591 out of 22,055 calls that are in the money. So we need to bring GME back to the promised land again. We closed out at 199.56. So our next big giant hurdle is looking like we got to be around, let's see, where's our nice big fat wall? So at 200, there's a big put wall. Look for some resistance there. At 210 as well, there's another decent sized put wall. But then after that, there is just free and open market to run. Just beautiful. On the call side, the very bear side, look to break 250 is just nuts. That is a super sexy wall to push through. You get to 250, and that's just game over. The gamma triggers, we're looking at 209. 209 brings us to 224. 224 brings us to that big wall at 250, but 252 is looking for that. That's that next gamma trigger. So it'll not only that 250 wall is just going to continue to push it. The reverse gammas for the day, if we fall below 185.10, look for a strong downward bearish trend. But hopefully the apes can battle and we can bring this thing to the promised land and start getting our tendies. And what indicates that we're going to battle hard today on my side, on the Onyx side, is the banana meter is at a holy shit 5.69. The apes want this. The apes want this. So really, really, guys, to wrap this all up, it's going to be another sideways week. Just hang tight. I know we keep saying that. Trust in the process. Hang tight. GME, AMC, stay strong. And as always, hodl. Hodl for me, hodl for you, hodl for your neighbor, hodl for your mom, hodl for your loved ones. Thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, please drop a comment. Let me know what I can do better, how I can improve, make this experience better. I'm hoping tomorrow my software will be working so I can have the charts up with you and you can kind of walk through this with me. Like I said, I'm going to post some stuff on Twitter, some screenshots to give you guys that opportunity to see what I'm talking about in this video. Thanks again. Much love. See ya.